And here we are. Oh, good evening, friends. So thrilled that you could be with us again this evening. My name is Nicholas Viselli. I am the artistic director of Theater Breaking Through Barriers, and we are once again coming to you liver than live can be, right here from deep inside the heart of Midtown Manhattan, right in the Thunderdome on 42nd Street. And on behalf of all of our artists, all of our colleagues, all of our administrative team, I would like to cordially welcome each and every one of you to Theater Breaking Through Barriers' third Hybrid Playmakers Intensive, or HPI3, DRAMAPHEMERA. I will say that it has been such an exciting week for us because we have had this great opportunity to create all this new theater. We've done a lot of these intensives, and I will say that this intensive was especially exciting for us because we had such a great cooperation from all of our artists and the way they've worked together to create the work that you are getting a chance to see over these last few evenings, and we'll continue to see tonight, and hopefully if you tune in tomorrow night, has been extraordinary. So I'm just so grateful. We're now technically in the middle of this. We are creating 12 shows, so this is number 6. If you tune in tomorrow night, you will get to see 6 of them in succession, one after another, all presented live before a studio audience. But tonight, we are celebrating the weekend and capping off the wonderful week that was just now with the cherry on the sundae. And I really am so grateful to this incredible group that you're about to see. The play that we are going to be offering tonight was written by the great, big all caps, Jeff Tabnick. Jeff has worked with us so much for so many years now, and he's done like pretty much every one of these intensives, and he's written such incredible work for us and for so many others. He's such an accomplished writer, and I just can't say enough about how wonderful he is. And I'm also honored to say he's a great personal friend. So the play is called Pocket. It is directed by AhDream Smith, truly very deep in my heart, AhDream. I'm just so thrilled that we had an opportunity to meet really when the pandemic began, which was probably around 5 years ago. And I'm so grateful that she continues to work with us because she's such an extraordinary director and writer and actor. And she is getting a chance to direct this piece tonight. And finally, we have 2 incredible artists. We have Jennifer Bradley and we have George Ashiotis. George, I can say I started working with TBTB in 1997. I saw my first TBTB show back in 1988. And the reason I saw I've known the company that long is because of George Ashiotis. He's such an incredible actor, musician, and such a dear friend. And you're going to get a chance to see him work tonight. So I'm so excited. So ladies, gentlemen, dear friends, all of you who are watching, I'm going to now stop talking and I'm going to just say, please sit back, relax, and with all of our hearts, please enjoy Jeff Tabnick's Pocket.
The actor playing Gwen is Jennifer Bradley. She has golden ringlets for hair, beige colored skin, and a natural green shirt that accentuates her collarbone. The actor playing Harry is George Ashiotis. He has olive-toned skin, salt silvery hair. He's wearing a cranberry crew neck shirt, and he has a smile that makes your insides warm. Gwen is in a Zoom screen that is dark. Harry is in another Zoom screen that is dark.
Do you know who I am?
I can't see you.
You don't recognize my voice?
Why is it so dark in here?
The laws of this universe.
Universe?
The laws of this universe fluctuate.
I don't understand.
If you're patient, you'll see me soon enough. You don't recognize my voice?
I'm sorry.
I'd recognize your voice anywhere.
Maybe if I got closer to you?
You can't.
Sorry.
It's not possible.
How come everything feels so flat?
Not only is this universe without light, but it is also two-dimensional, like a painting.
Why do you keep saying universe?
However, this universe has much light. Sometimes this universe has many dimensions. Once it had 12 dimensions. Now that's too many. It's hard to even touch your nose when you have 12 dimensions. Well, first, it takes forever for your finger to get there, and then you don't know when you've gone too far. So suddenly your finger's in your brain, and believe me, ooh, that stings.
For the love of God, I don't understand anything you're saying.
I was hoping my universe would have at least 3 dimensions for your visit. The 5 is optimal. The emotional dimension can be quite pleasurable, but perhaps best enjoyed alone or with someone you trust. And I imagine you don't trust me yet. You don't even remember who I am.
I'm going to leave. I don't like this. I can only move side to side.
Because we're in 2 dimensions.
And it's dark.
Because we're in a period of darkness. Be patient. The laws of physics will change.
When?
I don't know. This universe is unstable.
I'm frightened. I'm a coward.
Not true. You're the bravest man I know. On your kitchen table in upstate New York, you found a note, and scribbled on that note was a Manhattan address and a date and time. There was no name, no reason given, but you came anyway. Can't believe you came.
Tuesdays are slow for me.
The note said, enter apartment 71 and step into the closet. And you did.
Tuesdays are really slow for me.
Behold, a period of illumination.
Gwen! You're Gwen!
Harry,
I didn't recognize your voice.
it's been 20 years
I'm so sorry.
that you didn't recognize my voice, or that it's been 20 years.
Both. But why did you invite me inside your closet? And why is your closet so weird?
Well, Harry, it turns out that my closet is a pocket universe.
A what?
You really don't know what a pocket universe is?
We've only been reunited for 2 minutes. Please don't make me feel stupid.
How should I explain a pocket universe without making you feel stupid?
Slowly and with small words.
After the Big Bang, space expanded so rapidly that certain bits were stretched too thin. And through those thin bits, one can slide into other universes, like you slide your hand into a pocket.
I understood all of that.
Give that man a cookie.
Yes, please.
There are no cookies in this universe.
Tease.
But some universes are nothing but cookies.
Are there a lot of these pocket universes?
So many, all over New York City.
How come I've never heard of them?
Once you've found one, something changes inside of you. And other people who have found pocket universes take notice. And they stop you on the sidewalk and whisper into your ear, I found one too. Let me tell you all about it.
Ah, Like when you get hair plugs and suddenly everybody tells you about their hair plugs. A secret society.
Oh, Harry, hair plugs? Really?
All is vanity and vexation of spirit.
I'd like you with or without hair.
Are you flirting?
Remember when we were together, that t-shirt I bought you, sleeps well with others?
I adored that shirt. When it fell apart, I had it framed. It hangs presently over my bed.
Oh, I love that very much.
Too bad there are only 2 dimensions in here. I'd like the chance to show you that that t-shirt is still right.
Cool down. I'd imagine erections are quite painful when there are only 2 dimensions.
I could stand in profile.
Oh, now I remember how much you liked cookies. I'm sorry you're stuck in a universe without them.
Stuck? What do you mean stuck?
It's quite informative being a part of the Pocket Posse. Well, that's what we call ourselves, those of us with private universes.
Gwen, am I stuck in here?
Every universe has its thing. The thing in this universe is that the physics are always changing.
I see a way out, but I can't get to it.
But in other universes, time exists all at once. And the people in those universes, they can see into the future.
How do I get out of here, Gwen?
You can't, because we're in 2 dimensional space and the exit is in front of us.
I don't like this. I don't like being trapped.
Harry, breathe.
I can't. I'm panicking.
Wait, don't you sense that?
What?
The laws of this universe are shifting. I'm sensing, yes, we're moving into 3 dimensions.
Hallelujah. 3 dimensions. I have girth again. Girth! Come on, old girl. Let's get out of here.
Wait, Harry, don't. The people in this pocket posse who can peer past the present presented me with this portent that foretells great peril.
What are you saying?
I invited you here today at this exact time because out there, Earth, it gets totally fucked.
A disaster?
A catastrophe.
Man-made or natural?
Man-made. The very worst.
People will die?
People are dying right now at this very instant. But in here, we're safe. And we have 3 dimensions. So much to be grateful for.
How long do I have to stay in here?
Remember us, Harry? We started out as an affair that shook both of our worlds, earthquaked our marriages, but we emerged as adults that chose to spend 10 full, adventurous years together. Don't you remember that, Harry?
My dogs.
What?
Just last week, my pup sired a litter. I must go back upstate. I must be with my dogs.
Haven't you heard anything I've said? It's all gone out there. Nothing is left. Is it really so awful to be in here with me?
No, Gwen, it's not awful. In fact, when I got that letter, I was hoping it was yours. When I entered this apartment, I was hoping it was yours. When I heard that voice, I was hoping it was yours. But my life is out there.
With your dogs.
Yes.
Our relationship ended primarily because I hated animals.
And I hated the city.
I never did understand your thing for pets. You can't banter with them. You can't take them to the theater. You spend all this energy training them, but they're never going to enter society. They're never going to earn a living. They're certainly not going to eulogize you at your funeral.
And I could never understand your dependence on this city, this concrete pile of trash.
Manhattan is the only place for the truly curious and intellectual to live.
Our relationship ended because you see life as a problem to be solved, and I see it as an experience to be felt. And after 10 years, as much as we loved each other, I realized those opposing viewpoints were never going to be compatible.
I didn't understand why you ended it. Couldn't we have complimented each other?
Well, we were too stubborn, too adult already, too set in our ways. I want to go back upstate. I want to go home.
Please don't.
How can you be so cruel?
So cruel. I saved your life.
My poor pups.
Oh, Harry, for God's sakes, your dogs are fine.
How could that be? How do you know they've been spared?
Because there is no catastrophe out there. I lied.
You lied?
The catastrophe is in here. I'm lonely.
So you've trapped me in here with you. Have you trapped me in this pocket universe forever?
Oh, you beautiful nitwit. There is no pocket universe. We're in my closet.
How can that be? It went from dark to light.
I pulled the chain.
It went from two-dimensional space to three-dimensional space.
I held a clear garment bag in front of your face, and then I took it away.
Jesus, Gwen. Couldn't you have just invited me over for a cup of coffee?
I was afraid that if you came here, you wouldn't like the way I looked. And
That's the
I
darkness.
was scared you wouldn't come. Well, then I was scared you wouldn't like the way I feel.
Hence the two-dimensional space.
Right.
You always were trying to solve problems.
Did you at least enjoy the experience?
Better than Disneyland. And cheaper, too.
Harry, the state of the world today, it's made me so damn lonely for the way things used to be. And you are the way things used to be. Don't you ever get lonely?
I feel a lot of guilt about this. But Gwen, my life, I'm happy.
I'm glad for you.
That doesn't mean that I don't like your closet. I like it quite a bit.
Oh, don't you dare pity me.
It's not pity, it's love. Genuine love.
I feel that.
Oh, goody. Then we must be in the emotional dimension.
Up yours.
Listen, in this closet, in this small universe, you're in charge.
I already know that.
So, in here, you get to make the rules.
I know that too.
So make some rules. Make some permanent rules.
No politics.
Good.
No capitalism.
Fuck yeah.
No power grabbing, no grabbing of any kind.
Amen.
I want an ease in being, a lightness to the body, a calmness of the mind, and an occasional visitor. But he will only come if it pleases him.
it will please him very much. I always loved your universe, Gwen, even if it wasn't mine.
End of play.
Wow. Wow. Thank you all so much. Oh my goodness. It's so happy. Thank you so much for this wonderful show. Come on, everyone, if you could. Are you George? I think you're here, but your screen is off.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Is
There
it
you
on?
are.
Was I off during the performance?
I believe you were, yes.
But it didn't matter. Your work was so great.
Oh my God. And I didn't even notice I had it minimized so I could. Oh my God.
But you
Well,
know
I
what?
did.
But I'm going to tell you something. It did something really kind of cool to this play, which did not happen the first time. I mean, you were together, but yet you didn't know if Harry was real or if Harry was just a part of Gwen's imagination. Like it's kind of interesting to know that I never got a chance to see you in this, George. I only heard you.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well,
That's so wild. I had no idea.
Well, I mean,
But that would be cool.
and none of us wanted to like stop it and say you're not on screen, George, because that would have been that we couldn't do that, and that the energy and the dynamic that you guys had created was still there. It was all there,
right.
you know.
No, I mean, for me, it was all there.
Mhm.
For me too.
But
Yeah.
I did give the command to the computer to turn on my screen.
Mm.
It was a really lovely run. I mean, it was definitely the most emotional and connected run I'd heard. I thought it was really lovely.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really, really beautiful. But I mean, it's sort of, if you're only seeing it now, this is the second time I'm seeing it. So to see it with you not there, and then it would have been even interesting to see it if you were on screen and Gwen wasn't really there. Like it sort of changes the whole kind of
Dynamic.
dynamic of it, you know.
Right, right.
But
Oh, that must have looked cool.
but all of the energy, all of the love, all of the longing, it's all there. Like it's all that remains so completely intact. So Jeff, tell me your impression, because you got to see this now two different ways. And then AhDream, we have to talk to you about this. But what do you think, Jeff?
I think every time they do it, it's better and better. I mean, so lucky to have worked with these two fantastic actors. I sort of feel, yeah, I mean, like not worthy exactly. So it's been great. And yeah, it's really touching to hear their work and their voices. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was just so beautiful. AhDream, now you directed. Tell me what you think. Be honest.
Yeah, I was having a mini conniption.
I said you were. I'm glad I didn't know.
Yep. But I was like, we're in it. We're here. And then it started to morph. I was like, it was kind of reading like Gwen had George held captive in her pocket. So like she was like this powerful goddess in this alternate universe, and he had come and entered in, but like we were like seeing his POV of everything that was happening. So he could see her, he saw the light, but we still couldn't see him. So listen, that's the thing. Once it's live, baby, it's gonna do its own thing, and it still all works out.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought it was wonderful. I really did. Both times. So for me, it was enjoyable because I always think that when you see something more than one, I love to experience things more than once, because usually the first time it's an overview and you get a lot of the, what's there. But the second time you just sort of tune in a little more and you catch a lot more of the subtlety and but to see it in a different way where you were not on screen, it changed the experience in a good way, in a good way.
I'm glad.
Like I was sitting here, you know, I saw the screen, it was like, oh boy, he's not on, you know, I don't know what to do about that. I don't want to interrupt, so let's just let it go. And you guys just did it. It was beautiful.
We rolled with it. Well, I mean, I was not aware that I was not visible.
That's okay. It's okay. What did you think, Sade? You got to see it twice. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I agree with AhDream. It gave a completely different vibe, especially to Jennifer's character. And, you know, George, in the end, you ask her to kind of come up with her own rules. And so I have a question kind of for everyone. If this world had a rule book, what's one unwritten rule each of you discovered while working on the show?
Oh boy, you asked tough questions.
Slash, you know, what's one unwritten rule maybe each of you discovered during this like second run of this performance?
I think AhDream's rule was grace and patience. I'll take it. That's the rule
Yeah.
I learned.
I like that too.
So that's a really good question.
Mhm.
I feel like that you can like alter the universe by your thoughts, you know, like there's something we discussed this in what do you call it, in rehearsal, and I was like, you know, Jennifer, what is causing you, what is motivating you to like say these new things? Because it's like George has a reaction and she's like, if her objective is to keep him, right, he's like, I want to get out, and every time he wants to get out, all of a sudden the rules of the universe change. And so I wonder if the unspoken rule is that you can actually control the dimensions by your thoughts, you know, or it's actually the emotional dimension is actually ever present, and that's what's causing the universe to be in fluctuation, and that would explain why it's not stable, because our emotions are constantly, I'm happy, ooh, no, I'm stressed, ooh, amen, it's done, you know, all the
I
things.
love that response because I think it just builds on the theme of drama ephemera in a whole exponential way.
Mhm. Yeah,
For me, oh, sorry.
no,
Who
please.
was talking? Oh, I was just going to say, for me, the law or rule that that's what you asked, right? That we discovered through the play.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question. Was that our connections with other people so much is dependent on our ability to empathize, I believe. And if a person is not able to empathize for whatever reason, because they're lonely, so full of themselves, whatever, or a narcissist, go figure, that there's no ability to connect and a true connection isn't formed. And I think in the relationship between Gwen and George, they've, always had the connection. But I also think Gwen, having been away from it, has somewhat retreated, where George has continued to progress, to blossom. And I think by the end of this play, Gwen understands a lot more about empathy because she sees George have it, and it's kind of like she gets it.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. When I saw it this second time, because you were not on camera, George, it reminded me of a play that you wrote earlier, Jeff, which was What If You Read My Plays?
Mhm.
Do you remember that piece?
Sure.
What I loved about that piece was it was this man who is having a conversation with his old girlfriend. And you find out that she's not really there. It's just, she's just in his imagination. So he's having this whole conversation about his work and his life with this person who he had a relationship with years ago. So it kind of reminded me of that in this particular, because they're both fully realized characters, and yet at the same time you learn at the end that one of them is really not there. She's fully realized within the imagination of the writer, who, you know, and I love that. I love the ideas of different levels of universe, different levels of consciousness, and I think this play has an element of that in this, a big element.
I think that, well, like what you had said earlier, Zoom and isolation go together, right? Themes of isolation, or themes of, are we really relating to somebody? Are we creating that relationship in our mind? Zoom tends to lend itself to that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And same thing with social media platforms, when people often their comments about everything, not realizing that you're talking to actual people. And the other thing I thought of when you were talking, Nick, is that the difference between people's perceptions. Well, first of all, it amazes me that anybody ever gets together, because the differences between two people's perceptions of the same thing are immeasurable, right? So the fact that a relationship exists, and that even through your other play, Jeff, or this one, that it has stayed so vibrant or commanding of someone's brain, you know, their thoughts. Whereas the same example of that is seen in George, who's moved on with things. It's not that he's forgotten, but it's not first on his mind. And so I think you can see the ephemeral nature of that aspect of relationships too. Is that getting too out there? Ching ching, crystals, green, darling. No, we're okay. Okay.
No, not at all. I love that. I just find it so, I find it also incredibly interesting and fascinating. And when you have, well, I'll just take it back to this. When you have a piece of work like this one that sort of allows you to sort of open up and think about this in a much bigger way, and it takes you into so many different directions, that's really good. That's really wonderful writing. It's very thought-provoking. It's the kind of stuff that stays with you, as opposed to something that is like, oh yeah, that was good. You know, on to the next, because this becomes more of a meal as opposed to a snack. How's that?
Well, we talked about that. We tried to make sure that we hit all the marks here, you know, that we had a full story in 10 minutes that encompassed, you know, that was hopefully emotionally engaging and encompassed some sort of ideas and give everyone a chance to act the full spectrum.
Yeah, and the other thing too, which I not that I ever really want us to write specifically about where we are in our world right now, but this does encompass that in so many different ways. And I think, yeah, it encompasses, I think this play encompasses, it becomes like a marker of where we are in our world right now in time. I always like to think that the shows that we've done during the pandemic in many ways act as a time capsule. When you look at each one of those, we did 6 intensives during the pandemic. The first one was like 2 months after lockdown, and then every couple of months after that. And yet the plays sort of reflect exactly where we were at every point in that period. And now we're in a time where the uncertainty continues, folks.
The story doesn't end.
Stay tuned.
And really sort of a period that certainly, as you said in a wonderful alliterative sentence, that portends to be very a time of peril. I believe that is very true. I think that speaks very much to this time. So I
I
look
think
forward.
I was just going to add to that, Nick. I think it's very interesting as well that even though we live through different, I don't know, happenings, we lived through Watergate, the Vietnam War, all these different things, 9/11, blah, blah, blah. And our lives are somewhat grounded in those traumas or heavy incidents, I think. But at the heart of it all, people's emotions, I think, someone tell me if they think something else, are the same in that we get mad, we get sad, we get happy, we get creative, we get whatever. But it is as it's affected by whatever's going on at that particular time. And so here you want me to get really weird in one sentence. Everything that we will ever do or ever think has probably been done before at some point in the course of humanity's existence.
That's
Now, it
what
may
John
look
Lennon
different,
said.
but the way?
I said, that's what John Lennon said.
Mhm.
There's never been a song that hasn't been sung. There has. He just goes.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yes. But I believe it's true. I had a teacher who told me that once, and I was like, no, maybe. Yeah, probably. So, I do think that's true too. And we see them through the eyes of our experiences. But others have done that too, which is also part of the lesson of ephemera.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do agree with that. I do think you're right in the sense that humans are humans, and we like to think that we've evolved in a sense that we have become much more civilized, and we are able to treat each other better. And I think that's it's important for us to strive for that and constantly keep reaching for that. But yet we learn very quickly that all of those other baser instincts still exist, and they still come out, and it's like it's always balancing. It's always the balance. We are still human animals. We are animals, and we have animal instincts that still are going to come out no matter what. I wish I without sounding pessimistic, I feel it's hard to have the dream of Star Trek when we can live in a civilization where everyone is equal and everyone is the same and everyone is treated with the same amount of love and respect, because we live in a society of hierarchy. No matter what, if we were able to do that, there's still who's better, who's smarter, who's faster, who's this, who's that, and there's always going to be feelings of jealousy and envy, and I have to stop that in order to feel better for myself. So those are the struggles of being a human animal, I think.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
Everybody's piggy at one time.
But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't and couldn't and really shouldn't stop striving for that. Once again, I think the best goals in our life are the ones that are just beyond our reach, so that we can continue reaching for them and pushing for them, because humans also have this wonderful notion of once we get what we want, we are now unsatisfied once again. It's like, okay, finally, now what? And then we get to sing Peggy Lee's "Is That All There Is?" So I think we have to constantly keep. And then the other thing that's important is, and which you definitely get in this play, which I love, is the spirit of love, and the fact that there is this connection between you two. And even though you have not been together in 20 years, you haven't heard her voice in 20 years, Harry, it all comes back, and that connection remains as fresh as ever. And it's just that idea that we need to constantly keep connecting with each other.
In the words of Reverend Celine Dion, it's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now.
I love it. I love it. So all right, I leave it to you. Does anyone have any final words of wisdom or whatever you'd like to say?
I just want to thank everybody that I worked with, including you, Nick, because it's been a very rich experience and a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And it's good to make art with other people, to collaborate in creativity. And it amazing, that in this really very, very defined short period of time, something as wonderful as Pocket could be created. And Nick, both times you said, both times that we did the show, you said, "Now I leave you and hope you enjoy Jeff Tabnick's Pocket." It's just made me chuckle.
Well, George, we got more work to do together, man. We got a whole other play that came out of this. We got our Tiresias, Oedipus play. There's more
I'm
work
there.
to be done, friend.
That'd be great.
You have to let me do Iphigenia sometime.
100%.
Yep.
I mean, we'll just name off all the Greeks.
Yep, it's true. George, we did Oedipus years ago. And that was such a despite the ordeal we went through during the whole rehearsal and direction part, it turned out to be a really beautiful experience. And you were so extraordinary in that, George. You really were.
Yeah, I saw that production. It was a great production.
I came to that, or was dragged to that production kicking and screaming, because I always hated the image of blindness portrayed by Oedipus and by Tiresias, or I guess in that play was Manto, but same character. That one chooses blindness as the most abject punishment he can inflict upon himself, and the other one has this gift of prophecy and vision. And as a blind person walking around the street and getting on with my daily routines, I don't want to ever have to live up or down to those expectations from the public.
Right, but what you had said to me was what you came out of it, your point of view. This is what really struck me, and you should say, I don't want to put it in my words. I'd rather you put it in yours, but what you came out of that with, like how you played that role, I thought that was really striking. What you had said about how you played that role.
Well, yeah, I just loved that the problem of Oedipus was not accepting how blind he is, and I don't know if that's the way I said it then, but
But it's true, and it had such an impact. I remember Richard Rose, who is on our board now, but he's another friend and a wonderful actor. He has seen like so much of our work, and he said it was I absolutely love George in that, because it was like the first time he actually saw you actually play a blind man at the end.
Right.
And you did it there was such a sense of power and grace.
Yes.
And acceptance.
I felt Oedipus was empowered by the realization that the problem was with him. It went inside of him, and
Yeah, and to see that not as punishment but as acceptance.
Yes.
Was not only I feel the right choice, but it was such a powerful choice, and it was a really great defining moment, certainly for him, to see you do that work. He was so I just wanted you to know that
when Oedipus comes out at the end in our production with a cane and dark shades, I just thought that was
And a tin cup?
No tin cup.
No.
But we
Okay.
did sing I Can See Clearly Now at the end, which
We
was
sang, yeah, I played a mean triangle in that one. I
Did.
Yes, you did.
We had triangle, but we
I
had to
love that.
we had to sing I Can See Clearly Now. That was the closing song. Yeah. How about that?
yeah.
That sounds really, really cool.
It was it's a great play. We did Seneca's Oedipus, which was written by Ted Hughes. So the language is so visceral. It just kind of jumps out at you. You don't have to see any violence. It's all in the words.
And he had no punctuation in it at all. And that was terrifying
boy.
initially, and then very liberating ultimately. I'm so pleased that I got to do that.
Yeah, I am too. It was a gift. It was a gift.
Well, I'd also say ephemera is it's a good subject for short plays, right? Because it works on so many levels. You know, with this experience too, it comes and then it's gone.
Yeah. Yep. Wait till you see what we do next year with transcendency.
Gosh.
Whole other thing. We'll get into that next year.
You know,
I also think it's ironic. We just said on the last show how ephemeral, like it means it's always evolving, it's always changing, and literally our show changed from the 7:30 to the 8:30. You know?
Yes, it did.
Come back at 11. We're blue. So, you know.
Exactly. It'll be, yeah, and you'll all be speaking in very high, squeaky little voices. You know?
like with all that helium or something.
Oh, I was thinking of a different blue, but okay.
I knew what you were thinking about. I was
Thank
looking
you.
forward to that.
But this was wonderful. And again, the perfect note to is like the perfect crescendo to sort of finish our wonderful week of online plays. So thank you.
And usher you into the live.
Yes. So I will say to all of you, and all of you out there, our live shows, what I love about the live shows are, it's the fact that we're going to be performing them in front of an audience who will be in the room. So if you are watching online, you will get not only to see the shows, but you'll sort of now feel the reaction of an audience and what that does to the shows. So, you know, I always like to, people always ask, is this really theater? Is what we're doing here really theater? And it's so funny because last night I ran into a friend on the street who basically was saying, I am so glad that we're out of Zoom now and I'm back on stage. There's no comparison. It's like, well, no, I never did compare it, but I love doing the online because it still allows us to work with people wherever they are. I mean, let's just talk about AhDream's journey when we started this. You know, just this evening, you're at home now, but you went from being where? At the airport, into a car, to your house, all on Zoom, all at this time. How wild is that? I mean, that's
Their phone dying.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you know, and the fact that we can do that here is really great because those of you who are watching, they got to see AhDream's in an airport and then in a car and now here. You got to see a whole other progression.
The bathroom interlude was weird, but otherwise.
I know.
Yeah,
I was just
they
going to
had a
say.
whole subplot.
Yeah, we'll never get
other subplot.
Yeah, we'll never quite get used
The
to
other
the
pocket
bathroom.
universe.
There you go.
That's right.
It's so true. So thank you all for doing this, and thank you for watching. Now, tomorrow, 6 o'clock we begin. We'll be doing 6 shows. Oh, I didn't mention this in the previous. We have 6 plays. Wait. Let me get these so that I get it right. We have 6 plays that we're going to be doing tomorrow, and the plays are all. I'll tell you. We have a play by a playwright who's working with us for the first time. His name is Charlie Quinn. He wrote a really wonderful play called "Rehearsal Space is the Place," which I think tonight's Pocket Universe and tomorrow's Rehearsal Space is the Place. It's like a perfect segue. Then we have a wonderful piece by Peter Mark, George and I know Peter Mark as Pete Makochik, but Peter Mark wrote a very Pete play, which we'll call Drink Your Tea. Very funny, and I love Pete's work.
Love Pete's work.
Yeah, he's just amazing. And Pete has been working with TBTB now forever, like since what? Since the early 80s, George? Mid-80s?
No, I think a little later than that. Closer to, yeah, and somewhere in the 80s. I don't know, Nick. It all washes out in my brain.
He's got a fantastical brain, Pete,
Yeah.
and he comes up with these wonderful, wild things, and this play is no exception. And then we switch gears to a play by Enrique Huili called Celestial Warlords. So that's, yeah, it's we really sort of transition with
I
that.
love Enrique's work too.
Yeah, Enrique's work is wonderful. And then we have a brilliant piece by Kate Allen called 2 Weeks Later. And then we have a play by another writer who has worked with TBTB, who's an incredible writer, who's writing his first play for TBTB that he's written. And you're going to get to see it tomorrow night. It's a play called Turtle, and it was written by Adam Lynn. And to round this out, we have a beautiful piece by Pamela Sabah called Such Stuff. So 6 wonderful brand new shows tomorrow night. You can watch them here, or if you are in town, you want to come, I think we still have some seats available, so you can come and see it. It's free of charge, and we would love for you to come. Go to
I will see you tomorrow, Nick.
Oh, George, I'm so happy about that.
Are there only 5 seats left?
Oh, really? We have 5 official seats left, which is great. We might be able to pack in a few more, but yeah.
I'll be there. I've got my seat reserved.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'll see you too, Jeff, then.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Cool.
Forward to that.
So thank you all for being a part of this. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Go to our website, check out our work. You can see everything that we do, find out all about TBTB. Everything is there. If you really love what we're doing here, please support us. Click the donate button. I promise you it will not only be deeply appreciated, but it will be very rewarding, because we consider you a partner in our art, and we want to be able to create work with the intentions of what our audience wants to see. So that becomes really important to us. So on behalf of all of our artists, including and especially all the ones you see on this screen, Jennifer Bradley, George Ashiotis, Jeff Tabnick, AhDream Smith, Sade Powell, and our tech guru, Tucker Salavara, who just ducked off screen again. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock, right here, and also in Midtown. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.